All right, we're gonna run with it. Welcome back to the dimecomicbros podcast. I am your host, Jacob, joined by my co-host, Spencer, and Colin, who's pissed that he didn't get the intro.
Damn, bro, you just ran with it.
I did.
Oh, look, Colin's got the big print on his big boy iPad.
That's because
so he can actually read it.
He's got 4 eyes and he can't see it anyway. He needs the large print books.
Yeah, watch. Look, I can just put it on.
Put it on old man mode. Oh my gosh.
He looks like a dad in his seat with the beer can resting on top of his belly. That's what he's doing with his iPad right now.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
So, shall we get into the comic book news of the past month?
Yes.
This is the first time we've been in Colin's house for 2 solid months. Maybe even more.
I do like being inside Colin's house.
Yes.
That's what we're calling it.
I love it when you guys are inside my house.
So from comicbook.com, the Captain Carter variant of Peggy Carter is going to star in a new Marvel Comics miniseries from creator Jamie McKelvey from Captain Marvel and Young Avengers, and artist Marika Cresta from Star Wars Dr. Aphra. Captain Carter is a 5-issue miniseries following the breakout star of Marvel's What If animated series, placing the hero as a woman out of time, similar to Captain America, awakening from frozen ice in present day. She will have to contend with the reappearance of an old foe in the modern day, along with deciding what she stands for as the wielder of the shield. As I'm a big fan of the Captain Carter we've seen on screen as anybody, so I jumped at the chance to create our own version, McKelvey said. I'm having a great time exploring what it would be like for Peggy to wake up nearly 80 years after the end of the war. The world remembers the myth of Captain Carter, but to Peggy, the reality was just yesterday. Now she finds herself in a nearly unrecognizable new world. How does she fit in? Can she be the superhero people want her to be? Exploring these questions has been really exciting, and I love the world Marika and I have come up with. I can't wait for people to see Marika's pages. There's so much life and energy to Peggy and the rest of the cast, and the action scenes are stunning. Along with fan-favorite comic book runs, Jamie McKelvey is also known for designing new superhero costumes for Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel. He's putting those talents to use once again by crafting a new suit for Captain Carter, giving it a slightly updated look. Marvel recently hinted at a Captain Carter series with a tease of her red, white, and blue shield.
Cool, more pegging.
He's been dying to use that joke the whole time you were reading that.
He's dying to get pegged.
Moving on.
I'm glad that it's just a 5-issue miniseries. They're trying it to see if it works, and if it doesn't, it was only 5 issues. That's even investment from buyer and seller. They're just testing the waters, and you can just test the waters because it's only 5 issues, so it works out.
I would love Margaret to test my waters.
Okay. From DCComics.com, Gotham City has changed tremendously in the 10 years since Bruce Wayne gave away his entire fortune and went to prison. After Terry McGinnis steals the Beyond suit for Gotham Motors CEO Derek Powers, Bruce escapes prison in order to try and stop Terry. And in order to do so, he's going to have to enlist the help of old friends and old enemies.
Ba, ba, ba.
Writer and artist Sean Murphy is continuing his Batman White Knight universe with Batman Beyond the White Knight from DC Black Label. The first issue in the 8-issue miniseries will be available at comic book shops and digital retailers on March 29th, 2022. Quote, I really missed working in Gotham and it feels so great to be back, end quote, said Murphy. Quote, drawing Neo-Gotham as an upgraded, retrofitted futurescape has been a blast. I'm working hard to blend the Beyond aesthetic with the White Knight world. Batman Beyond and Terry McGinnis fans will get everything they loved about the animated series as well as a few twists, end quote.
Get it out.
I'm excited! I'm so excited.
There we go. Yeah.
Because I love... I was jizzing my pants the first time I saw him teasing that he's drawing Batman Beyond on his Instagram. It was so good. And at that time I was rewatching Batman Beyond, so I got really excited for that. I'm a little worried though by what it's saying because it's it seems like Terry McGinnis is working for Derek Powers to get that suit, and that's how he's stealing. That's how he's introducing Terry McGinnis, which is kind of worrisome. But
you don't trust your boy, Sean? Trust,
I do.
Trust your boy, Sean.
Well, it's a little difficult because he switched the name. He forgot the names of the Robins, but I'm gonna trust him.
Dude, you barely remember the names of the Robins yourself. Shut
That's
up.
not true.
Yeah, not true.
I'm probably the one that remembers all of them.
I would honestly say that Colin is probably the strongest on the Robin lore among all my friends.
I very much
Which
am.
is the two of you. Self-burn, those are rare.
You need more friends.
Exclusive from CBR.com. DC has exclusively provided CBR with both the solicitation information for and an exclusive look at Batman: Killing Time. 3 villains, 1 Dark Knight, and a deadly heist gone wrong. Catwoman, the Riddler, and the Penguin join forces to pull off the greatest robbery in the history of Gotham City. And their prize, a mysterious and priceless artifact in the secret possession of Bruce Wayne. But as the events unfold, what fun is a heist without a bloody double cross or two? The blockbuster team of Tom King and David Marquez, I think I said that the first time. Bring an epic, white-knuckled, action-packed tale of a young Batman desperate to recover his most prized possession from a host of violent rogues before the clock strikes the killing time. He said it. They said the thing. Did you hear me say it? I said it. Written by Tom King and illustrated by David Marquez and Alejandro Sanchez, Batman: The Killing Time is a 6-issue series. According to the solicitation information, Bruce Wayne / Batman will find himself up against Selina Kyle / Catwoman, Edward Nygma / Riddler, and Oswald Cobblepot / Penguin after they pull off a huge robbery. That repeated most of the first half of the report.
Can report these nuts.
Gay.
Tom King is back. He is the king.
I was actually kind of surprised by this, not in terms of premise, but more so in the fact that because Tom King was basically fired from doing Batman, like most of the way through his run. Like that's why he has the Batman Catwoman spin-off book that may or may not be canon or whatever. Because like apparently they just weren't, like, DC wasn't pleased with how his direction was going, like sales and whatever.
Is this all because Batman ate Catwoman?
No.
Oh, okay.
That didn't happen, which is gay. No, they're just, it seems like, because he basically got canned. And then
it was
like,
that series, though, right?
No, that's a whole other thing.
That's a Harley Quinn thing.
That's a whole other thing. But he was given however long the Batman Catwoman book is. I think it's like 12 issues. It's just wrapping up now as like here you can finish kind of whatever you were doing, but not in the main book or whatever. And it's weird that they're having him come back to do another thing. It seemed like that relationship had been like soiled. Weird.
Well, speaking of soiled.
Ooh. From Marvel.com, the Killer's celebration for Carnage's 30th anniversary is just the beginning. In the aftermath of Carnage Forever, a mayhem-filled anthology one-shot on sale in February, comes an all-new ongoing series for Marvel's most terrifying villain. Writer Ram V and artist Francesco Manna will kick off this visceral new chapter for the character in March's Carnage #1 on sale March 2nd. Already reinventing the symbiote mythos over in the new hit Venom series, Ram V's thought-provoking work will now spill over into this all-new ongoing series starring Venom's most notorious offspring. And known for his masterful approach to brutal action on titles such as Trials of Ultraman and Old Man Logan, Francesco Manna's dynamic art will make this one symbiote story you cannot afford to miss. The new series will see the Carnage symbiote seeking a new bond after separating from longtime host Cletus Cassidy. The two were the most notorious and prolific serial killers in the Marvel Universe, but after the events of Extreme Carnage, Cletus's codex has found a new home, leaving the Carnage symbiote adrift, alone, and deadlier than ever before. This Carnage story is very likely to become the most twisted thing I've written, Ram V promises. The killer symbiote has gone through some pretty significant changes in recent times, and I've been left with an opportunity to do something new and inventive with the character, and the kind of stories you might expect to find in a Carnage book. This is my kind of horror, as frightening in its implications as it is on the page. This is a devilish, scary Carnage, and we're setting out to discover just where the bounds of his abilities really lie. Pity those caught in his wake. The Marvel Universe is not ready for what Carnage is turning into.
I'm sold. I love Carnage.
Blood. And
yes.
guts.
Yes. And goo.
And goo.
Ram V's great.
I really
so this is
enjoyed
cool.
the Absolute Carnage. I haven't read Extreme Carnage, so I would probably be out of the loop on this one for now, but I just really like that they're sticking with Carnage and Venom stuff because they really are two different characters. Quite unique.
I'm trying to find some really bad reference to Let There Be Carnage, but I'm struggling because every single line of that movie is a bad reference.
I think
one.
True.
I think it's funny that Colin gets the easiest report out of this entire email.
Ready? DC's Blue Beetle film will no longer be an HBO Max exclusive and will release in theaters on August 18th, 2023.
And
We're so proud of you.
You didn't fuck it up. I'm very proud of you.
Exactly.
I was expecting you to stutter all over that. Cool.
You also didn't cite your source.
He didn't cite his source.
It doesn't.
I'm sorry. I saw the Marvel above it. And all right.
Yeah, you
Yes.
saw the Marvel above and thought it was
Yeah,
DC
yeah,
information came
yeah,
from Marvel.
yeah.
This is why we can't have you doing this.
We got so much
Shit.
more. Any thoughts on DC's Blue Beetle?
Good job.
Good.
Okay.
Having streaming exclusive things is just kind of dumb in general. If
Yeah,
it's a movie.
especially since we don't have HBO Max anymore.
You can change that.
You know, you can like buy your own shit, baby man.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, then shut the fuck up.
From DCComics.com. Joshua Williams has become one of the most prolific writers at DC, leaving an indelible mark on a host of DC titles and characters. He's entertained comic book fans with celebrated runs on The Flash, Batman/Superman, Deathbed, Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, Justice League: No Justice, and Batman/The Flash: The Button. His exciting work continues on current titles, including Robin, Deathstroke, Inc., a key series in the upcoming Shadow War crossover, Justice League Incarnate, Infinite Frontier, and most recently, The Batman, without the. It's just Batman. This March, Williamson and artist Leo Max, Hill House Comics' Basket Full of Heads, takes Central City's most infamous citizens out of retirement for one last and potentially fatal score in Rogues, a 4-issue prestige format DC Black Label limited series. Rogues is unlike anything I've done at DC, says Williamson. It's closer to my own It's closer to my own creator-owned works. It's a crime book full of super science, dark humor, lost civilizations, and crazy action set pieces, but it's all played straight with the dark edge and morality play qualities of classic noir stories. Rogues takes everything we love about these classic characters and sends them violently crashing into a noir story that makes the ideal DC Black Label series. 10 years ago, the Rogues disbanded and went their separate ways, but time hasn't been kind to the former blue-collar supercriminals. Caught in an endless cycle of prison, rehab, dead-end jobs, broken relationships, probation, and bottomless restitution fees. Wait, is this about my life? The Rogues are sick of paying for their crimes. Luckily, Captain Cold has a plan, one last job that will leave them all richer than their wildest dreams and free from their past. If they can survive. The Rogues plan to steal the world's largest stockpile of undocumented, untraceable gold. That's a piss poor plan. Gold is effing heavy. Have you ever lifted gold? Holy shit.
No, I haven't.
But to pull off this heist, they will need to head into the heart of Gorilla City and rob Gorilla Grodd himself, a supervillain now turned ruthless boss of the largest crime syndicate on Earth. This DC Black Label series presents the Rogues as you've never seen them before, taking on a neo-noir heist guaranteed to make readers' blood run cold.
Finally, another Black Label book that isn't Batman.
That's true, but this sounds really complicated, and it's got a lot of things going on.
I'm super interested in
So,
this.
you're telling me it's the Italian Job, but monkeys.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yes.
Captain Cold and gorillas. How many issues was it? 4 or 5?
It's a
4
Black
issue.
Label, so yeah, it's gonna be like under like 6.
I mean,
It's gonna be like max 8.
it says 4 issue.
They're also chunky usually.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be like a 200-page book.
So, I mean, they might be able to pull it off, but it's got a lot of things going on in it. I'm kind of concerned.
I'm concerned,
But I'm excited.
mostly for you
Yeah, that
and your
it's
sanity.
not the Batman again. But also, where's the follow-up to Batman Damned? I'm dying to know.
Considering that book came out like 6 years after its predecessor, it's probably gonna be a while if it even happens.
This is like waiting on a metal band to release another CD.
Literally.
Yes.
Come on.
From StarWars.com, the galaxy's greatest smuggler and his Wookiee co-pilot are taking on a new job, starring in their own comic. I see what you did there. Han Solo and Chewbacca, a new series from Marvel, will launch in March 2022. StarWars.com can exclusively reveal. I mean, they are the official website for Star Wars. That does make sense. Written by Mark Guggenheim and penciled by David Messina, the monthly comic follows Han and Chewie a few years before the events of Star Wars A New Hope as the duo teams up with Greedo, in better times apparently, on a heist for Jabba the Hutt. I think this is literally just folding in the Solo sequel plans into a book, and I'm fine with that.
Speaking of Solo, I was actually looking at a couple of just set photos. I think either earlier today or a couple days ago, but I realized that I wish that Han Solo never got the Millennium Falcon because it looks so fresh with Lando. Like, it looks so good in Solo. Like, peak Falcon. But of course he had to have it because, original Star Wars or whatever. But still, Millennium Falcon.
Capes. Got that nice, that nice cape closet.
Oh, I want more of Lando in that shit.
Hey, Spencer.
What?
You remember that time where Colin had the shortest article from this email?
Yeah?
Shit, my
I believe you can take your time and breathe. You can
Just sound it out if you need to.
From gaydar.com. I mean, sorry. GamesRadar. Oh, sorry. Gaydar. Oh, wait. From GamesRadar.com, writer Jason Aaron returns to The Punisher in March 2022 with a new 13-issue prestige format series simply titled Punisher that will turn Frank Castle's mission on its head.
I'm already sold. You don't need to read the rest of it.
This will be the 13 reasons why Jacob doesn't kill himself.
Shut up! I just made that joke!
No, I made
You
it
talked
better.
over me!
I made it better.
Asshole. In Punisher, Frank Castle is recruited by the Hands to serve their demonic master known as the Beast. Thanks to his unparalleled skills at murder, as part of Frank's time with the Hands, he'll wear a new logo, don new armor, and even take up a sword, in line with the Hands' ninja style. Punisher features art from Jesus Zayas, Paul Azexta, and colorist Dave Stewart, with covers from Sayas. Sorry for pronouncing those names wrong. After writing The Punisher over the years, I've always been fascinated by the character of Frank Castle. Aaron, who wrote the Punisher Max title, states about his return to the character. What moments made him the Punisher even before that fateful day in the park? And how far will he go to win the war that has consumed his life? Spoiler, as far as it damn well takes. It seems that Aaron's story will push Frank Castle farther than ever, even earning him the dubious crown of King of Killers. This story is the destined next step in the dark and tragic evolution of Frank Castle. From troubled kid to heroic soldier to revenge-driven vigilante to the duly anointed King of Killers. Believe me when I say I am as excited about this story as anything I've ever written for Marvel, Aaron concludes. At the same time, Marvel editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski promises the series will introduce a side of the Punisher we've never seen before, which represents Punisher's inevitable evolution. What does that mean exactly? Who knows? But perhaps Frank Castle is heading further into being a full-on villain. Punisher #1 goes on sale March 2022.
I'm super down for this.
I'm so proud of you, Colin. Nice job.
Very nice. I'm glad that it is going to be Jason Aaron doing this. So I think, maybe it's just me, I think that we can all kind of tell that there is more than just story reasons why this is potentially happening. Maybe it's just me reading a lot into this, but I think
a lot of people are reading it
at least,
a lot into it.
I think at least it feels like not a we're going to change the character so we can stop using the logo sort of deal. I don't think it's a creatively bankrupt decision by any means, but I feel like they might want to take the logo out of commission for a couple of years, at least for a little while, just for the sake of reasons.
Cops.
that whole thing, which I think we're all on the same page on that. It just
I think you're reading way too much into it. Anybody can bastardize anything.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just because even the original creator has been very vocal about hating that shit right now. So, when was the last time Frank Castle had an ongoing book? Either. It's been a little bit.
It's been quite a while.
It's been a bit.
The Max series came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and I think he had one ongoing since then. It's been a little while.
So
I'm interested.
You had the TV
last
show.
time that we really had like a series about the Punisher was our live action Punisher show.
Yes.
Potentially. Let me
Both
pull it up.
seasons.
Let me see when the most recent ongoing was. It's been a little while. It's one of those characters I literally put in the peniser. I need help.
You put in the what?
I literally typed in
Penis. Did you literally type in penis?
I seriously did.
Penis. Wow, your gaze showing. Peniser? The peniser?
Screenshot that.
Fine. I need help. Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Spencer's favorite gay.
Oh, boy. There is there has been more, actually, since then. It's been a good bit. It just looks like it gets rebooted every couple of years.
Wesley's yelling from the other room.
Say.
Tell Spencer to stop laughing so hard.
I'm sorry, I'm having fun. So there's a 2000, a 2001, a 2009, a 2011, 2014, 2016, and 2018 series. And then Punisher Max wrapped in 2009. So it seems like it just gets rebooted all the time. But this looks really interesting. I like incorporating him into the hand. The Punisher is a thumb, so that makes sense.
You're my thumb.
No, Colin, you are a thumb.
You know what a thumb looks like?
Colin.
My thumb.
The thumb that's about to go up your butt? Yes.
Marvel Studios released the first teaser and poster for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, coming exclusively to cinemas May 6th, 2022.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
I was like, I've been on board with it for the whole time that it's been announced, but the little glimpse in this teaser with an evil Doctor Strange from another multiverse, like kind of growling at good Doctor Strange, was fantastic.
Fantabulous.
I'm just really I'm happy that we're getting someone making a film. Like, I mean, just if you compare literally him splitting a car in half to when it was done in Infinity War, it looks drastically better. You know, his hair is actually black. Mm-hmm. You know, just like the visual shit looks way better. And I'm glad they're not dropping Mordo. This was something I was really concerned about when Scott Derrickson left originally.
Of course, it's not Mordo.
I really thought they were going to drop that really, really cool plot line that they teased at the end of the first movie. And I was like, nah.
It's Mephisto, you idiot! Yeah. Mephisto confirmed!
Mephisto confirmed.
Because they're like, multiverse, yeah. And I was like, oh crap, they're gonna ditch that storyline, aren't they? And it turns out they're not, and that makes me really happy. Also, he looks kind of cool with dreads.
Yeah, I really.
And the poster is, I've said this 1,000 times since this came out, but Marvel forgot they're supposed to make bad Star Wars rip-off posters because they made a really good one for this.
Also, we get Scarlet Witch back, and I'm very excited.
Oh,
I don't like that they changed her costume so soon. It's like every single time we get any new superhero
They just put longer sleeves on it. That's
longer sleeves. Her tiara is different, and also her vest. It is different, and her vest is different too.
Also, our source for this was IGN, and I had forgotten how awful their website is for
so
like
nasty.
Trying to watch videos in it. It's terrible.
Why would you watch a video?
Just redirect us to YouTube, please.
Literally.
DC and Warner Bros. Released a new trailer for The Batman, coming exclusively to cinemas March 4th, 2022.
That's right around the corner.
Yeah, we're real close.
I am so excited for this movie. I've been waiting for a very long time for this movie.
Like all your life?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I want sociopath Batman brutally maiming people.
You know what else was supposed to be coming up real soon?
I do know.
Morbius, which got delayed again.
This movie does not exist.
From January 28th, and it is now coming out April 1st. It's too on the nose.
Yeah. There's no way it's coming out April 1st.
I usually hate when people are like, oh, they're gonna reshoot it. I think they might actually be trying to cram in some multiverse shit into this now.
They gotta be.
Because Sony takes the wrong lesson from everything all the time. I mean, Marvel does too, but Sony does it way worse.
They do it way better.
No.
Well, speaking of way better, shall we talk about Book of Boba Fett,
Yes.
episode 2?
Yes.
Colin.
Yep.
Sorry, I've had baby.
So this was much better? Maybe? Was it better?
Was so much better.
Ooh.
I loved every single part about this episode.
Like what?
I loved the more... Of course, we're getting more Tusken Raiders, because that's the whole point of this, but I love seeing him...
You guys have already...
No,
You're talking quiet.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
Yeah, you are.
You watch your tone. Stop being an ass.
Eat my ass!
Eat my ass!
Ow.
I love his interactions with the Tusken Raiders and how he's fully accepted that, like, the only way for him to, like, live, not survive, but, like, not just survive, but live, is to, like, be one with the Tusken Raiders and try to, and, like, he shows loyalty, and he's just strange in that way, because he's not, like, still trying to escape, like, he's actually trying to be a part of them, but I really like that. I really like where they're going with that.
I don't know if it's him trying to be a part of their culture as much as it is he's playing the long game, because he knows Jabba's dead, so he's got to work his way back, and I think he's trying to ascend to the throne and, like, not tell anybody. I think it's just a long game. But we'll see.
It's both.
Probably a little bit both, because you can see in his, like, how he talks to them, it's, like, all so genuine. Like,
Yeah.
he is just, like, he's just an old man.
He's an old man who's never had a family.
Yeah, he's an old
Which is
man.
really what it is. He lived with his basically sort of dad.
Family.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like a month ago, I included that little clip in the episode. I was so proud of myself.
But like he's never really had a family. His dad was murdered when he was like 10, 12. Then he spent like most of the Clone Wars era trying to fucking kill Mace Windu, and then he just ran around with various bounty hunters for like 25 years.
Yup.
So it makes sense that now that he's in a position where he's extra vulnerable and needed people, that it's like, screw it. So now we get our found family themes and stuff. And so it's probably a little bit of both.
I really liked all the stuff with the mayor. The mayor is such an asshole, and Boba Fett is dealing with it so well.
That was really cool, actually.
It's so satisfying. And then you got freaking Jabba's kids coming in and trying to push their way in.
I thought
and it's
those
not
looked pretty
working.
good, actually.
Those were his cousins.
Oh, whatever.
But I thought that those looked pretty solid, too.
Yeah, I liked that.
I was sitting here going, I don't know if those were puppets that were painted over or if they are just whole-ass CG, and I don't really care.
No, I
and
don't
that's
care.
usually where I'm happy, is if
alright.
I can't really tell how you did it, I just like, that looks really good.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
I liked it a lot.
I like the fact that they're really... So, with the first episode, I kind of thought we were just going to have, like, the one and done... this is how he got out of the pit, and, okay, these are the people that helped him, and, like, whatever. But I like the fact that this is, like, entirely dual narrative now. It's just, like, established on the second episode that it's just 50-50 story in two different time periods, and we're just spending all of that time expanding on different Tusken Raider tribes. I think that's really cool.
I really want more of the current stuff, though. Like, the Tusken Raider stuff is fun, but passable.
I think it feels like the time is broken up differently because there's very little dialogue in the other sections.
Right.
So it like time-wise, it feels like we're getting no plot progression, even though I think the time's roughly 50-50. But I definitely agree with you on that. I think the action, which it seems like one of Colin's multiple serious problems last week of old man fighting with stick syndrome is... I wouldn't say fixed, but it is definitely better.
I've learned to appreciate it more because, you know, he's old man, so he's going to be stiff anyway.
Yeah.
But it just felt weird on, like, an actual visual. Not, like, weird as in, yeah, he's old man, so he's stiff. It felt, like, weird as
It felt kind
like,
of clunky.
Like he is an actor who is old.
Yeah.
Not a character who is old. There's
Yeah.
very two different things.
Yeah, I think they smoothed that over a little bit more.
But I think another thing that I just realized is the reason, like, why I had, like, a little trouble with this was because there's a show that I used to watch that left a bad taste in my mouth about having a present time narrative and a backstory narrative, which was Arrow.
Ooh, true.
So that's what left a bad taste in my mouth for narratives that were brought like that.
That's fair.
So maybe there was a little bit of that, but the Tusken Raider plot line really helps.
I really liked how
Has a purpose.
when they did the end bit where it's like, and now we have the epic suit up montage.
Yeah.
I liked how it actually felt. It felt narrative purpose. It didn't feel like, guys, look at it. This is the outfit we saw him in when we first saw him last season, and we got to see him. And look, that's his stick. It didn't feel like that. It actually felt like it made sense and it tracked right. It felt like actual progression of the story, and they gave a lot of weight to it, but it wasn't too. It's such a subjective thing, but it didn't come across fan servicey.
Yeah, because the Tusken Raiders didn't just like immediately bring him in. Like he had to prove himself. Like, oh, okay, you did all this and this.
Lol, got a lizard up the
Awesome.
nose.
We're clothing you now, making you as our own, and now you have the chance to make your own weapon.
Get your own
and you
stick.
are officially one of our own.
I did like that. It felt cool.
I want to find a stick.
And also, it was watching the actual rituals go on. It's like, yeah, it's all fictionalized, whatever, but it feels like a genuine exploration of a fictional culture, and that's really cool.
You also had the train job in this episode.
That was pretty good.
Which is a very subtle reference to Firefly. I want to hear you in the chat. I really appreciated during that sequence where they're doing the train job that the black-robed Tusken Raider got inside the train and started basically a slapstick montage of taking down the bad guys. That was great.
Also, that's where I was about to go, is I totally didn't realize up until basically right at the end, I was going, hold on, you genuinely can't tell genders in this culture? Just because we've said, the women and the children, like whatever. But when you just look at them just based on what we've seen in the different tribes, based on their dress and their stature, they're very, very close. And the fact that their like head warrior is I didn't realize that until afterwards when I went and looked it up. I didn't realize that.
Dude, I looked at that person immediately. I'm like, that's a female.
I couldn't tell. Like, it just didn't come across that way.
The black braids and how they held their body. Dude, also, this is the first time we've actually been able to see them differentiate between each other, because they all had the same costumes because budget reasons.
Yeah.
Every single version before Boba Fett, the Book of Boba, they've all looked the same. Exactly the same.
It kind of bugs me, and it's probably a lore thing that goes all the way back, but the dust cycle controls seem backwards to me. Pushing forward should stop you, and pulling towards you should make it go faster. Yeah.
Hold on. It might be a different land speeder model.
Killed me.
I kind of like that.
He pushed to go faster, and that doesn't make sense because then you can't steer because your arms are out. If you bring it towards you, you could steer.
I think you might be right, Spencer.
Wait. I'm thinking of Return of the Jedi right now, and because that would be those would be their closer models.
Yep.
That are also on Tatooine.
Yep.
Speeder.
Also, think about Mandalorian when they got the speeders in season 2.
No, I think it's
season 1.
accurate, actually. Hold on, let me pull up the clip. Once this damn Liberty Mutual ad stops playing.
I don't care if it's lore
I had
or not.
that same thought for a second.
Bugs me.
I definitely had the same thought for a minute. It was like, that's kind of weird. Because I remember during this sequence when he goes and he jekes it back and hard breaks. It's somewhere in here. Ugh, I love these really shitty looking chases. They're so good. I miss that shit. Yep, he's accelerating and it's moving forward. That is a bad design, admittedly.
Yes.
But it is more accurate. But that is a dumb design.
I knew you would catch me on lore, but I don't care. It's dumb.
I agree with
I like
Jacob.
the pikes look really cool in live action. I was actually quite impressed by that because in the animated stuff, their like helmet thingies are really exaggerated and funky looking, and then in live action they're like fairly small.
We've seen them in Solo and
Really in the background, and they're very different ones.
We've seen them in Solo, and we've seen them in Rogue One. We've seen one of our main characters talk to one in Solo.
I remember that in Solo. It might just be a different clan then, because they're very clearly there's a size difference on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, size difference. I'll definitely agree with you, but we've seen them up close. But
It didn't feel like cartoony. Also, I just like the pikes. They're just a really cool species. Just the greater world building, I think, is really interesting that of like, hey, this is where they're using like these like space lanes, but like, you know, on a planet, like these different routes and shit. And that's kind of cool.
You just said like about 10 times.
Like this and like that and like your mom.
Do we have any greater theories, as we discussed last week, on what the actual who the actual bad guys are? Because I have a feeling it wasn't the Hutts.
Nope. Don't give a shit.
You really don't care that? Weren't you the one who's like, I need more current day stuff, but you don't care?
I don't want to predict where it's going. I'm just excited to watch more.
Yeah, me too.
Wow.
You're the one caught up in all these spoilers.
Oh, wait. Did you see the little red dots in Boba Fett's suit?
Yeah.
Mephisto confirmed.
Gotta.
Look at him!
I'm pretty sure.
I've said this 1,000 times, but you are the reason I drink.
Colin called it last week with the freaking Black Death, Wind, Sun, whatever group that was introduced in this episode.
No. No, he was saying it might be Black Sun, and I was thinking that it might be, fuck. What's the other one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
Crimson Dawn. And it was neither one of those. It's just this.
Well, no,
it's just,
I didn't mean Black Sun. I meant Crimson Dawn.
I
I
don't
said
know.
Black Sun.
Either way, technically neither one of us are wrong, because that was a prediction on the greater threat, not explicitly on who sent on where the assassins were employed from.
Oh no, I didn't care who these. I figured it was the mayor anyway.
But I do, but it wasn't. Very sussy. I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I also just like the fact that Fennec Shan is like, ooh, you want me to do murder now?
Yes.
It's like every 3 seconds. It's like,
The answer is always yes.
Minor inconvenience,
yes,
shall I
murder.
stab them, boss?
Oh yes, murmur mommy.
Yes.
Murder mommy.
When the wow, I just un-Englished myself. I don't know how to talk. When the ambassador from the mayor came to Boba Fett's throne room in the first episode, I was expecting him to get dropped to the Rancor pit, and that did not happen. But somebody did get dropped to the Rancor pit in this episode, and it was a great fake out.
I thought it was funny because I saw that and I was like, Rancor, he's dead.
Exactly.
And then I saw that there's nothing there before she even
No.
said there's nothing. I was like, oh okay.
There was a mouse.
Oh yeah, there's a mouse.
I was terrified of that mouse. I was really scared.
Oh I bet.
I thought the guy was gonna die.
Me too. He's gonna poop his pants.
Yep.
Colin did poop his pants.
I
I
know.
can confirm that.
I can
was in
smell it
fact
from here.
in his pants.
There's poop in my diaper. Please change.
Spencer, what have you done this week?
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so Colin, what have you done this week?
What I've done.
I'm kidding.
Do we want to talk about Matrix Resurrections? Because we all watched that pretty recently.
I might chime in.
Sure.
Do you have any thoughts that you want to talk about, or no?
I'm really gonna piss you off with my thoughts. You should start.
Wait, can I start? Because I have a really short.
I'm
thought.
just asking whether or not we're going to do that at all, because I don't care if it's the first thing or the second thing. I just want to know.
We're doing it right now. I thought it was better than the last 2 Matrix movies, and that's pretty much it.
That's a safe call.
That's it.
Congratulations.
I don't really. I mean, it's cool. It's all right.
How many times have you seen the first one? Are you
Choice.
That's not enough.
are
Well,
you like
okay.
a diehard fan, or
No,
I really like it
I
fan?
think the Matrix is like cool, but I don't think it's anything to like freaking get crazy over.
How are we friends? I want to know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think Matrix is cool, and like yeah, how I feel about the Matrix is like it pioneered ideas for stories rather than became like a big thing for me.
It
is a
should
big
have
thing.
become a big thing,
But
but
it's
the
not.
sequels killed it.
I think I'd probably like the Animatrix more.
The
I
Animatrix
haven't
is
seen it
really
yet.
good.
I need to watch those. I think I'll like those more.
What was that?
I think you're right. And I have it on disc if you want to borrow.
I do, because I don't have HBO Max. I do.
Buy your own shit.
He's so butthurt about it, but I literally don't.
You're the one who keeps bringing it up,
Because
jackass.
It's funny.
Because it pisses you off.
Yeah, because you keep giving me a reaction. I don't care. I can just pirate everything if I wanted to.
Then fucking do it.
I
Stop
have.
whining.
What do you think I have?
I had really high expectations for this movie. And
Why?
because to have a third sequel in a row that sucked ass was highly unlikely. And the trailers look good. I knew I shouldn't have been so excited, but I was. I was really, really hoping for this. And it didn't suck. I'm gonna start off by saying that. It's good. It's fine. But it references itself so very often. My best example is my I don't know, I didn't count it. 3 or 4 word review would be, it's a green Force Awakens.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it starts out as a meta commentary. The whole
That's fine.
beginning is a meta commentary.
But it
basically.
just repeats Matrix 1 and a little flecks of gold from the sequels. It's like, hey, remember when this happened? Hey, remember when this happened? Hey, remember when this happened?
I think it's just trying to bring it alive again. It's not really trying to do anything new. I think it's just trying to liven up the fan base again.
But it's like, if you have the option to watch the first one and the fourth one, which one are you gonna watch?
First one.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you guys are thinking about this in way too segmented of a fashion. You can't think about it as because it's not a reboot. No one ever said was this a reboot?
Didn't
or
want a reboot.
Revival. Even the director literally said they're not making anything else. Like, this was the only thing that was planned to be done.
That's weird.
It's not a revisitation or even really it's a partial recontextualization of the other movies. But like,
I can't help but notice you just said a lot of words.
Yeah.
No. That's just part of the Matrix lore. Congratulations.
Right.
You win points.
Yeah.
I do like that with this Morpheus. It's a code. It's code. But I like that it's like almost a common. It's basically a commentary on how Morpheus was so too serious about himself, or he was so he was just ridiculous. So it's kind of a joke on him. That's how I took it.
On that point, I found it really interesting. We knew going into it that what's his face, Morpheus. They didn't even call Lawrence Fishburne to come back for it, and he was
because he's already dead. He's already dead.
Right.
They're keeping to the lore that they already wrote.
I found it interesting in the story that he's connected to the agent. And so because the agent was changed, Morpheus had to change too.
It was actually the other way around.
Whatever.
Hugo Weaving was contacted and he didn't want to do it. I think because of a contractual problem. Cough, cough, probably money, because Hugo Weaving is a bit of a butthurt man these days. But no, that's why that one was recast.
I was speaking to the lore, though. They couldn't get one, so they changed the other because they're connected. And I didn't have that little piece of the puzzle in my mind from the past movies.
I don't grasp how you get to that conclusion.
They say it in the movie.
What do you mean? They changed one, so they changed the other. When?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
When? They said that Morpheus isn't
once.
supposed to be a Morpheus isn't just a Morpheus as a program. He's half Morpheus, half Smith. And that's actually one of my major downfalls of this thing that I don't like. But that has nothing to do with them changing him because the actor's different. That was already there. Larry Fishburne was never going to get contacted for the movie because the Wachowskis wrote the video games. So they're just sticking to their own lore.
Just video games?
Yes.
There's a couple of them.
They're actually pretty good too.
And they're they're in canon?
Yeah. Same thing with the Animatrix.
One of them had multiplayer hidden behind 3 secrets.
It was so weird.
You had to type in a code and then another code and then click on the invisible thing to get to multiplayer.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What was this on?
GameCube, PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
I'll have to get those. Because I have a GameCube.
My point was,
GameCubes are fun.
GameCube's so good.
A normie would have assumed that the agent was the arch nemesis to Neo. But that's not where this movie brought it. It was the agent and Morpheus were off on their own thing. They're connected in that way.
I guess. I'm not totally grasping where you're going, but I don't think we're going to get anywhere with that rabbit trail.
All right, continue with your thoughts, because we keep cutting you off.
So on the whole, I have a written thing, because of course I do. Hold on.
Nothing.
I'm going to fuck your mom. Shut up.
Again.
So, yes, true. I I thought it was a worthy follow-up that justifies its own existence with flying colors, but it is simultaneously nearly as stuffed in terms of content and theme as Reloaded and Revolutions, but it feels a lot tidier and like actually thought out, more like the first film. On the technical level, I thought everything was very good and more than competent, but it frankly just wasn't as impressive or innovative. Even for Reloaded and Revolutions were still groundbreaking, technologically speaking, in a sense, because you did bring up Star Wars. That is something that also was lost with more recent Star Wars productions of there just isn't really anywhere else to push technology anymore aside from the two current things was the new digital screen stuff, which is cool, and Star Wars has been doing that, but that wasn't in the movies. And de-aging has been like the big kicker lately, and Star Wars has been doing that, but they didn't exactly make it any better. So on the same level of this is all really good, but on a technical level, I wouldn't say it's not as confident as the other ones.
This movie definitely felt like it had so much more practical effects.
Really?
Absolutely.
I actually thought some of the CG was kind of yikesy. Sometimes.
Well, no,
I thought it was sick when all those people were falling out of the buildings.
That was great.
That was my favorite part. Was it's like I was watching this with
Of course,
my
the
brother,
favorite part was the suicide
of
bombing.
course.
That was my favorite part of the whole movie. And Wesley's just like, oh, like it reminds me of 9/11. I'm like, dude, this is badass.
No, I was saying like
Everyone's killing themselves.
there's a lot more practical stuff in it. You've got helicopter chase scenes that the helicopters look real as far as I could
guess.
tell.
I think it
and
might
car
just be-
chases and whatever. Like it's not like they're running through a computer system
Yeah, that's
where
fair.
everything's green.
I thought that the performances were all really good, especially the returning cast, even if a couple of the characters don't serve much of a purpose, meaning a lot of the modern day crew
Like Bugs?
are no, not Bugs. Bugs is like the only useful one. The rest of them are like they're just archetypes and they do nothing. And then a couple
they were
of the
pretty forgettable.
and then my bigger thing with this is I really enjoyed watching the new actor as Smith, and I really enjoyed watching Yaya as Morpheus too. But they're both out of character, and I don't like it.
So the guy that played Smith, very much, it seemed like he was in character, but not at the same time. But also, I really like that actor. So
I like the actor,
I like the actor. So like, I like the character. in a way.
The fact that it's a reskin. It's not a rebooted version of Smith. It's just a reskin. I got that, but it did feel like past maybe the first act, I was like, okay. If they had Hugo Weaving, they would have been using Hugo Weaving. Like, they would have had the fake face, and they would have taken the fake face off, and Smith would look like Smith. I get that, and it doesn't feel like he's trying to just channel Hugo Weaving, hamming it up, and I appreciate that. But he's a little too jokey. Because that's the problem with Smith is so fucking self-serious.
Yeah.
Both him and Morpheus are so far up their own asses about everything. Like, Smith, in the first trilogy, is the people who take the Matrix in real life too seriously and do their interpretations wrong, and those people that are fucking weird. And then Morpheus, I like the concept of him being a program that like Neo put in his own head to put in the Matrix when he as like a failsafe. Think that's a really cool idea, and it made for a really interesting first couple of scenes. But even if he's half Morpheus, half Smith, both of those are fairly serious characters. They're both really dry characters when they make jokes. Smith is funny, but because the jokes are deadpan. And then putting them together, I don't understand why Morpheus 2 is funny. It was a really good performance. It was really fun to watch. I think he looked fucking cool as hell, but the point of him ended up feeling more like a plot device for the necessity of getting Neo out of the Matrix. And then after that, I was like, this is cool because it introduces like the exoskeleton tech thing. So like programs can exist in the real world. That's cool. But what else does he serve beyond that? It just feels like it was kind of a necessity for like the archetype of having a Morpheus.
Trinity figuring out how to fly was great.
That was my...
I loved that.
So that was when...
They're the one.
No! That's exactly what dumb fucks think. We are all the one. They say it because that's literally when Smith is talking to Neo. He says his line, which he said in other movies, because anyone could have been Neo. Neo isn't really special. He just happens to be one person who was in a certain scenario and happened to become the one, kind of. And Smith can be anyone, blah, blah, blah. That's the point, is it's not now anyone can become the one. Everyone is the one. Exactly. And that's why they're not destroying the Matrix yet, because they can change everything to make everyone wake up at once. Then they can get rid of it. They don't have to pull people out one by one anymore now that they have control over it. It's literally the democratization of power. It's so fucking cool.
They're the one.
They're all the one. The one means nothing.
Spencer, listen to my sentence.
Yeah.
They're the one.
The one means nothing, though. The one doesn't really exist.
Does he not get what I'm saying?
I really liked the flashback with the little girl in the train station and how they brought her back as a character in this movie. That was something I did not see coming, and they did really well with it.
I didn't see that coming either.
That was great.
Really?
That was fantastic.
I'm pretty sure we knew about that beforehand, actually.
Maybe you did.
Maybe
I didn't think that was like a...
Spencer.
I don't know.
I really liked the fact that it was rebooting internally, but not... It wasn't like sequel bait type. We're doing more Matrix shit. It is either the fact that it's so self-referential hits in the sense of it's self-aware that everyone has various different interpretations of the Matrix, and that works for someone like me versus for you. It felt like it was a bit too much. I'm putting words in your mouth, but it felt like it was too much up its own ass about it.
Yeah, it was a bit much. It just felt like they cherry-picked the good stuff from the sequels and then everything from the first movie, and just reminded you of everything. And even fight scenes were similar to fight scenes we've seen before, like shot for shot. And it's like, you kind of have to look for new ideas in this movie. Like, they're there, but you gotta look for them.
I agree with the first half of your statement. I think looking for there are new ideas plastered all over this thing. I think some of them could have been executed a lot better, for sure. But I think...
So maybe that's where we're on a disconnect. Maybe they are new, but they didn't go anywhere, or they didn't do well. But it is lost in itself, I think.
I mean, in a sense, just the conclusion does I don't know how much you guys are into film tropes, but like the Trinity problem of like this main character is basically just a plot device. Like the whole first trilogy, like Trinity's a really good character.
Yep.
And she's portrayed really well, but she does fall into that literally just here for the love interest type shit, even though...
So doesn't...
as an accident.
So doesn't Hugo Weaving.
Right.
He's there just to be a bad guy.
Right. It's an accidental problem. It wasn't, we're going to set out to just make the woman be an object, but they did it on accident. Like, and then this can, in a sense, revisit some of that, but not remove what was done before, but it continues on the same path that the other movies were doing in terms of, like, theme. But the Merovingian was entirely unnecessary, and that actually did bother me. I knew that the Merovingian was going to be in this movie as a reference, but it was like, why? That was dumb.
Merovingian?
The random French dude. I because that was announced beforehand that the actor was coming back, and I'm like, that, okay, if they have a role for him, that's fine, because he's an exile from the second version of the Matrix, and he has all of his goons, which are like vampires and shit, which is cool. But in that fight, the only part of that sequence that was important was Smith and Neo.
Right.
The rest of it was like, this is kind of filler.
Merovingian was there just as a joke. He was like a John Malkovich.
Yes.
In that whole scene.
There we go. That's a good way to put it. And that was kind of weird.
I like the body horror of seeing Neo and Trinity coming back to life.
That was nasty.
I loved that shit.
So good. I think I need to I've only watched it once, and that was 2 days ago, and I've only sat on it for those 2 days. I think I need to rewatch this a lot more times.
You watched it 2 days ago?
Yes.
Oh.
What do you think of the Catrix? Yeah, it was Catrix.
What?
The end credits scene.
Hold on.
Catrix?
Hold on.
Do you want me to tell you?
I don't think I stayed for that.
I told you it was pointless.
Dude, I was on a date. I was kind of fucking occupied. Not everything every second can be about me being a nerd.
You can analyze the Matrix during the movie, but you can't remember the end credits scene.
Yes, because I'm pretty sure I didn't see it because I went, whatever, I'm going to go now. Was it a meme? It sounds like that's a meme.
Extremely. It's the freaking board meeting from inside the Matrix trying to come up with new, fresh ideas for their new video game. And the dude's like, oh, you know what's hot on the internet? Cat videos. We should call it the Catrix.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
That was so dumb.
Yep.
That's kind of funny.
Spencer, your humor.
I think the fact that it starts making articles like this, where it's like, this is insulting, is exactly why it's funny.
Okay,
Because
that's fine.
it's the same.
Yeah, that's screenwriting.
Freaking thing. It
They
doesn't.
can get butthurt.
That's the point. Is it's like that was dumb and a waste of my time. It's a joke. Like watching the Broadway production of Rogers the Musical. It's a fucking joke. Stop needing everything to have fucking teases on it.
I wouldn't have stayed for an end credit scene except that I had seen some headline teasing it, and it said it brought this freaking great movie together because the rest of it sucked, or some clickbait like that. And I was like, oh, there must be something really important here. And it was a cat video joke. It was like, I liked it before the end credit scene. I wouldn't have stayed. I would have said, there's no end credit scene, and left. And I got memed by the meme. Never gonna give you up.
I'm gonna put this microphone down your throat.
You are editing this episode. You are gonna hide it somewhere in here anyway.
Maybe. I thought the pills looked really cool. That's a really little
Yes.
thing, but the pills looked really cool.
Shiny.
Also, they're not pills. The first movie, they're actually capsules. They're different types of medicine distributors. And this one, they're actually pills. Anyways.
I did this all by myself. No internet help. I didn't even talk to you.
Damn.
It's so figurative, though. The psych dude, the freaking mentalist, Neil Patrick Harris, is looking through pill blue glasses.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of me.
He also has a blue shirt. Or a blue
Damn it!
sweater.
I missed that.
Oh gosh. All right. I enjoyed this a lot. It was very much so better than the other sequels, but it definitely was messy.
It's fine.
It's fine. He did say whoa.
It didn't suck.
That's something.
He also didn't say you're breathtaking to Trinity. So, I mean, come on.
I don't think...
Are you even trying?
I won't watch this a second time.
You've barely seen The Matrix a second time.
That's not true. I've watched it twice.
Exactly.
It's not barely, that's exactly twice.
It barely meets the minimum of having watched it a second time.
Colin and I...
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Colin and I are going to watch Animatrix before you come over next week.
Yeah.
You're not invited.
You're not
Okay,
invited.
I've seen the Animatrix. It's really good.
Fuck you.
Okay, what have you been up to, buddy boy?
I read an actual book.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Calm down.
It's the first time in a while. It's been the first time like all year, dude.
Have
No,
you
it's the
finished
first
Dune?
time I finished a book.
Have you finished Dune?
No.
Okay. Have you touched Dune since you...
Yes.
Okay.
I go up and down.
We had to dust
I'm
the
on-
dust
I'm-
off
Yeah,
the
yeah.
top.
I'm on the point where he breathes death into the room.
Nice.
So I read Osamu Dazai's No Longer Human.
I think you've already talked about this one.
Nope.
Okay.
Touched it to you guys.
Oh.
So, let's see. On the back, it says, portraying himself as a failure. The protagonist of Osamu Dazai's No Longer Human narrates a seemingly normal life even while he feels himself incapable of understanding human beings. Oba Yazo's attempts to reconcile himself to the world around him begin in early childhood, continue through high school, where he becomes a clown to mask his alienation, and eventually led to a failed suicide attempt as an adult. Without sentimentality, he records the casual cruelties of life and its fleeting moments of human connection and tenderness. It's a semi-autobiography, and by the end, we get an epilogue after the 3 notebooks where our author, Dazai, tells us a little story of how he obtained the books, and it was through a person that knew the man that wrote these books, and he usually never writes anything about like any information or anything like ideas that people give him, because they're like, oh yeah, here's this, here's that, but like he was so enticed by the book that he had to write about it, and you don't know if a lot of it's true or not, because by the end of the book, this guy goes into an insane asylum at the age of 27. And...
That's me next year!
Yeah!
Yes!
And the book is just a lot, because it's strange, but it's interesting because of how blunt the writing is, because it's just a journal. And he's telling you his feelings and like how he explains or how he understands certain things. So like he'll say this. He'll say in one sentence, and there I saw two animals through the window of the outside of my dining room table, or outside of my dining room, and you're like, what is he saying? He sees two animals in his kitchen, and you're like, did I miss something? But then he'll say in a couple seconds later, it's like, I saw my wife cheating on me. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Or he'll say, I had another example, but it's lost on me now. But it's just a lot of that, and the writing's kind of interesting, and there's a lot that I related to, not from the author's perspective, but like this person in like this diary journal format where he talks about how it's difficult to connect to certain people and how you just want to hide, or like you want to be nice but then people take advantage of you and stuff like that. And by the end of the book, it leaves off on a very nice note of what this person was thought of around, like, by the people who actually, like, that knew him, like, what they actually thought of him versus what he thought about himself as this, like, kind of wretched person. So, it was just a nice, refreshing read. It was very good. I recommend.
How much did you get it for?
I bought it for, let's see, $14.95 at Barnes & Noble.
Worth the full price?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I wrote in it and I highlighted stuff.
I wonder, can you use highlighter on your balls?
I've done it.
Of course you have.
Interesting. Please tell me more.
Does it
It
make...
tastes like licorice.
Never mind.
Does it make your juices glow?
Oh my gosh.
Only if I put it on my pee-pee.
That's cool. I gotta try this. Wait, what color did you use?
Blue.
Who uses a blue highlighter?
I do.
That was so fast.
I use a blue, pink, orange, and yellow. Because you highlight different things for different reasons.
I would think the yellow would make your pee-pee glow brighter. Right? I mean, you don't want to use pink on your pee-pee.
If you already use yellow, your pee's already yellow.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of yellow. My normal pee doesn't glow that bright.
What do you mean? Mine does.
You're dehydrated.
I'm picturing using the blue one, and it reminds me of a story somebody at work told me about eating the blue Takis. He ate a whole bag in one night, and the next day he thought he should have Smurf.
Ew. I could just imagine someone getting up from a turd and just looking, it's blue! It's blue! Blue poop!
Is the book that you read this week a poop from a butt?
No! I read the first volume of Lock and Key, written by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. It is issues 1 through 6, I think. Yeah, it's issues 1 through 6 of the series. I read it a long time ago, digitally, and this time I read it in physical format because paper is cool. Death to trees. It's a lot rougher than I thought. Like, Spencer and I talked about this a little while ago. The Netflix show polished up a couple of grotesque ideas from this story, and we were very, very right. Like, there's a lot of nasty, dark, gruesome, awful things that happen in this book. And it's not as fun as the Netflix show.
Tasty.
It's pretty mature, like, for a comic.
I mean, it was
This
written...
is coming from the guy who's read The Boys.
Yeah.
It's coming from the guy whose dad is Stephen King, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine having that guy as your dad.
Wait.
Stephen King's an asshole, by the way. I don't like him.
Wait.
Everyone knows that.
I was lost in your joke. This guy's dad?
This
No.
is Stephen King's son.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought you were saying I was Stephen King's son. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
Stephen King's an asshole.
That's what I was like. I was like, what?
Let me double check that, but I'm very confident on that one.
That's so weird.
Well, that explains some things in this book. Holy crap.
Yep, Stephen King also looks like that. So, strong family resemblance.
Yeah. All right. Well, that explains a bunch about this book. The artwork is tolerable. There's a couple of things that I'm just like, ugh, though. Like the faces and heads on characters just looks disproportionate, and I don't know why. I can't explain it.
Ooh,
but
I do. They look like toys.
Yeah.
I just opened up one panel, and this guy looks like Buzz Lightyear.
Lightyear.
He looks like a toy.
His mouth is too small. It's too high up. His whole entire triangle ratio is right in the center of his face, and it's small.
I mean,
His entire face is small.
I was already going to say that Colin's not going to read this book because he's not going to like the artwork. It's going to drive him crazy.
Also show.
Yeah.
they look like little figurines.
I
kinda.
think it adds to the horror a little bit, though, because when they're getting chopped up into pieces or whatever, like, it looks wrong to begin with, and then something bad is happening, and it's unsettling and weird and not fun. It does what it wants to do as a horror comic, and it's good.
Damn,
But
bro.
it's also very uncomfortable.
I mean, damn, bro. That is a grown-ass woman trying to half seduce a child. That is kind of icky.
Not really.
Fucking women.
She's not trying to seduce him.
Yeah, I know.
Women.
I'm making a meme. She's so... Ugh.
She becomes a dude.
What?
Well, that's because she is not a gendered thing.
Right.
What?
She's icky.
Gendered thing? Is it a real person?
She's
not a person.
way more scary in this one and way more seductive in the TV show.
I think that I think really has to do with the age of the actors. That thing I was bitching about for the 1,000th time. When
Yeah,
the actors that are playing children are like the same age as the actress playing Dodge, I'm like, are they gonna fuck?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Something that goes with balls.
Balls.
Hey.
I know exactly who this character's going to remind me of. Griffith from Berserk. Because he's a dude.
I thought you were going to say Joe.
Joe?
Yeah, Joe Mama.
What? Walked right into that. I knew it as I said Joe. Come on. Come on.
Your mom, yes.
Spencer, what have you done this week? And don't say Joe.
I read Blade Black and White, which is the first collected edition of the original, the OG Blade run from 1973.
Wow.
Before Blade,
Kicking it old school.
before Blade was cool, basically. Before he
I
turned.
liked Blade before he was cool.
No, because the first movie came out like when I was born. I mean, before the movies had
No,
influence on
I'm
the
saying
comics.
you like the Blade that happened
I
before he was
I
cool.
haven't gotten to that part yet. So it's written by Marv Wolfman and penciled by Tony DeZuniga. This is old school horror comics.
Nice.
Not in terms of, oh, it's a horror book, but like, you know, the vampires are coming to suck your blood, and we
Yeah.
need the blood of a virgin
Yeah.
to do the, you know.
Yeah, like
And it's-
black and white Dracula movie.
Yes, and literally this comic is in black and white, hence the name.
Ha!
This is it's a reprint from some scans. This would have originally been published on like yellow newspaper paper. So sometimes
Yellow newspaper
sometimes the art doesn't totally work as it was probably originally done. So on the one hand, I have a weakness for this sort of like old school, really corny, you know, creature from the Black Lagoon type like
Yeah.
goofy horror,
Yeah.
but also it's always dog shit, and that is
Yeah.
annoying because I can't. there's I don't know. And this isn't much better.
Just like you were saying, though, when it's reprinted on white paper, the colors pop so much, and it hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
I really want to love old school comics, but oh my gosh, it's so painful to read.
It's very much so a lot.
Continue.
So I miss part of the charm, I guess, of that era, but also they're really bad on reread, especially now when these characters have been recontextualized in a very different way. You know, this character is now part of Marvel and is with superhero. It's just so different. It's really melodramatic. The interpersonal drama is atrocious. The way that the characters talk is so over the top. Every issue is a different size, and they go over everything from the last issue for a third of the issue. They use the same words a lot, which I don't know if that's a writer's quirk or whatever, but he said, I don't even remember. It's just certain phrases get used so much. It makes me want to carve my eyes out. Like,
Richard Grayson, age 6. Age 12.
Shoe size, 10.5.
Dick size, 4 inches.
oh my God.
That's measured from underneath, by the way.
Obviously. All the way back to the prostate.
Yes.
Duh. Fuck. I don't even remember. That's how it's very forgettable. This is the prelude to him interacting with Dracula, so that was like fine. I don't know if there's a better way to read these ones because this seems like the only collected edition of all of these, but the reprinting is kind of rough.
So what you do is you illegally download it and then you send it to your printer, but you print it on yellowed newspaper paper.
I see.
Newspaper.
The story assembly being so ramshackle, whereas all the issues end up going in the same place. Like, they're still setting up the same conflict, but how not linked they are is really annoying, and it just bothers me. And then there's the first couple are like 40-page issues, and then 3 and 4 are like 90 pages. They're really big. One of them was advertised. It's like, it's as big as a book or some dumb shit.
It's as big as my dick.
It's really weird and awkward, and it makes
Not that big.
the pacing is just atrocious, primarily because of that. It's the start of something cool. There's some decent stuff here and there. It was fun, I guess.
How much did you pay for it?
Like $12.
Would you do that again?
Sure, I guess. I'm trying to get all the Blade books because there frankly aren't that many of them. Cover price is like $16 or $17. I got it used at Stairway to Heaven. So, a couple of bucks off. It's in good condition. And it's just like, this is... I want it on my shelf, but I'm not going to probably touch it again. Unless I really want to read old horror comics.
So you're collecting Ghost Rider, Iron Fist,
I collect everything. It's just a
Blade.
matter of what I prioritize.
No. You've been going hard to collect everything, but on certain characters because
Spooky
there
shit.
isn't much.
Yeah, Iron Fist. I'm going to... Because that crosses over with Shang-Chi for a while, I'm going to have to do that.
The shitty one I sold you, Hellstrom.
Yeah, because there's like 4 books in total. Ghost Rider, which is a good bit of it, just is weird. And then, yeah, Blade. Blade, I think, legitimately only has under 10 trade paperbacks. There's
Dang.
just so few. Even though he's a prime character in the Heroes Reborn event that just finished. So weird.
These guys are just usually great backup characters in team-ups, but they can't do anything right in their own solo run.
I don't know. I like some of it.
Yes, some of it.
Maybe they should sell
like
the
this-
rights to Japan, like Spider-Man did, and they can become agents for the government and have giant Megazords and be like Power Rangers, like Spider-Man did.
No.
I would probably actually cut myself.
I miss when Spider-Man was a secret agent who used guns and killed people.
Thank you to our patrons, Jeff Lawrence and Wesley Eaton, for supporting this show. You keep the lights on, which is a joke right now because we're sitting in the dark. There are no lights on. It's just the computer screen lighting our faces. That's it. If you are not one of those 2 patrons and would like to patron the show, go to patreon.com/dimecomicbros. I had to really think about it and not say patron.com. Yeah.
Penis.com.
Yes.
The Peniser.
thepeniser.com/dimecomicbros.
That's Spencer's superhero name. His
Now-
new one.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, I need to redo our superhero stuff.
No, Jacob.
You'll be the Peniser, and you'll have a bald head and a giant beard, and then me and you have to figure out something else. I will redraw because I have my new Apple tablet, and I can draw the Peniser.
Thank you to Jetpack Comics and Games in downtown Rochester, New Hampshire. We are so sorry for not including you in the credits last week. We are dumb.
Oopsie doopsie, fucky wucky.
Really appreciate your support. We are there like all the time giving you too much money, and that's why we are broke. Our listeners should definitely go to the store and check them out and support them and be broke like us because we're cool.
And our listeners should also visit our website at dimecomicbros.com and listen to our other podcast, Dime Gaming Bros, which is available on all the same platforms as this podcast. Yeah. Whereas
You'll
Jacob and I
probably-
go talk about mad shit like video games.
You'll probably accidentally click on that show thinking it's another episode of this show, and
That
you'll
is
be
true.
hooked for life.
Yeah, you should go listen to our most recent episode about Halo Infinite. It's spicy and long, like Halo Infinite. That was so bad. Please end me.
It wasn't as spicy as I thought it would be, though. I was really proud of how civil we were arguing about a dumb video game.
Now listen. Blue feet.
Is it gay?
No. It is not gay.
The weapon.
Not gay.
You like the blue feet and not the purple feet.
I
The
like
purple
bo-
feet were your first love. I know that for a fact.
That is in fact correct.
What?
Anyways, leave me alone.
You foot?
No! It's a joke!
The foot person.
Oh my god. We go over
Got
this-
him.
We go over this every week.
He admitted it.
So next week, what are we discussing next week? We need to figure that out so I can say it. Next week, we are going to be discussing X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Freaking right.
And trying not to kill ourselves.
Dude, that game was badass.
It was a really good video
That
game.
game was so
we're not
good.
talking about the video game, though.
I know, but like that video game is so violent and good.
I don't know
and
anything about the
tasty.
video game. You'll
It
have
was
to
actually
tell me.
You
one of the-
love it. You probably like it.
It's one of the only good tie-in games that I've ever played. It's
Dang.
really good. It's a hack and slash.
All right, so let's probably end this podcast and go into happy hour.
I
Sounds
also
good to
want
me.
to drink things.
I also want
Not Colin's piss.
Oh! Welcome back to the Dime Comic Bros podcast.
We gotta do sound check first.
Yeah,
goofball.
That's why I did it.
Down.
You calm down. You calm.
I'm very calm and filled with
It
confidence.
feels like there's something in my nose.
That's pretty normal.
I told you to stop doing cocaine.
No, before you stick the razor blade up your nose and just spin it around, it gets all the hair out like that. Best way to trim your nose hair.
I
don't think that's
have
true.
never trimmed my nose hair because it's never been that long.
I really like my vibrator-looking nose trimmer. It's great.
They do look a little sussy, but they do work very well.
They sound sussy too. Yep. Coming from the bathroom. What are you doing in there?
Trimming my...
Colin, this is why we don't let you touch anything tech-wise. The
Except,
mere presence of your feet fuck it up.
I mean, that does it for most things. His feet.
Toes.
Yep. Carnage comes in February.
Mark Queef, clip that out.
Gross. You're editing this week.
Am I?
Yep.
Why? How incredibly based of you. No, Mom, it's not called being cringe. It's called being based.
Red-pilled and chat and poggers. You wouldn't get it.
Oh, Jacob knows the word poggers. Is this yours or mine?
It's mine. Hang on a second. Backing out of church tomorrow.
Very nice. No, just use the F, dude. Nobody says PH anymore. What is this, the mid-2000s?
It's not acidic. It's based.
So...
See what I did there? Come on!
You're such a nerd.